ropes or to the cloths of the Kaaba, and if he does not give you the allegiance, then kill him. Don't leave him alive. When that message was received, Walid ibn Uqba summoned Imam al-Hussein. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam came with 20 of members of his family, headed by Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. When they were outside, he came in. Next to him, next to Walid ibn Uqba, was Marwan ibn Hakam, the staunch enemy of the Ahl al-Bayt. When Walid read to him what was being said, the letter from Yazid that you should give allegiance, Imam al-Hussein said to him that this declaration should be done in front of people, and I will give you my answer in front of people. Walid, who was a person who used to be cautious, he didn't want to harm Imam. He said, no problem, you have that. Marwan immediately said, don't allow him to leave until he gives the allegiance to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Yazid. Immediately Imam said to Marwan, woe be to you. You threaten me with death? Let me tell you one thing. نحن أهل بيت النبوة وموضع الرسالة. We are the household of the prophethood, where the message was received, where the malaika visit. ويزيد فاسق فاجر شارب الخمر. Yazid is fasiq, he's a transgressor, he's an evil doer, he drinks intoxicants. ومثلي لا يبايع مثله. Somebody like me shall never ever give the bay'ah to somebody like him. He left, and his family came in when he heard his loud cries. People recognized that the Imam would start his uprising, but his uprising would involve not only his sacrifice, but the sacrifice of his family members as well. It was time to bid farewell. Farewell to whom? To his beloved grandfather, the same grandfather who used to weep, the same grandfather who, according to Allama Amini, one of our great ulama, who is the author of the compilation of Ghadir, he went and researched 100,000 books, and he came to the conclusion that in Sunni and Shia books we have more than 20 hadiths, or more than many hadiths that highlight that more than 20 times the Holy Prophet would cry for Imam al-Hussein. Would just cry when he was born, 3 days after his birth. Many occasions the Holy Prophet was the first human being which shed tears for his grandson Imam al-Hussein. He would be the one who would say, Husaynun minni wa ana min Husayn. Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. Ahabba Allah man ahabba Husayna. Whomsoever displays love and compassion towards Hussein, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would do the same. The Holy Prophet of Islam, when he was visited by Imam al-Hussein to bid his farewell on the first night, the Imam came, he prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, oh Allah, I am your servant. I am the one who has come to ask you to grant me whatever you please. I am ready for any sacrifice that you perform. Oh Allah, grant me shahada, grant me success in your eyes. At that moment the Imam falls asleep on the grave of his grandfather, the Holy Prophet of Islam. When in his sleep he sees the grandfather, he sees his grandfather, the Holy Prophet, the Holy Messenger, next to him Malaika. He comes, he hugs Rasulullah, he says, Ya Rasulullah, take me towards you. I don't want to go back to this dunya anymore. Rasulullah says to him, Ya Hussein, إن لك مقاما في الجنة لن تناله إلا بالشهادة. Oh Hussein, there is a place for you in paradise that you shall never attain except through martyrdom. Oh Hussein, I can see you on the plains of Karbala, on the day of Ashura, your body mutilated, your head beheaded, your body beheaded and mutilated, and it's placed on the top of the spear. Oh Hussein, take your family with you, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command is that they are taken captive. The Imam cries and weeps. He is awakened. He wakes up, and the next destination is the grave in Jannatul Baqi' of his holy brother Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. He bids his farewell for Imam al-Hassan. Then he comes back to perform his farewell to his holy mother, Lady Fatima al-Zahra. There is a special connection between Fatima al-Zahra and Imam al-Hussein, more than the connection between a mother and his daughter and his son. and her son. When we come to analyze this, we see that the Imam loved his mother dearly. He came next to her grave, and he started to weep and said, "Oh my mother, this is Hussein. This is your beloved son. I've come to bid farewell. I'm going to Karbala." He cried. Then he told his family, it is time to go. One by one, he bid farewell to those who are staying in Medina. One of them was called Fatima al-Alila. Fatima, the sick one, the ill one, who was too young and was also suffering from an illness. Because of this illness, she was not taken to Karbala with the holy Ahl al-Bayt, with Imam al-Hussein. She came to bid farewell. She said, "Oh my father, are you going to leave me here? Are you not going to take me?" Imam al-Hussein said, "Have patience. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reunite us one day." She said, "Oh my father, please, if you're not going to take me, then leave Ali al-Asghar here. Don't take Ali al-Asghar. He is my brother. I want to sit with him. I want to spend time with him." It was not to be. Later on, this Fatima, this young daughter of Imam al-Hussein, sends a letter to the Imam. When the letter reaches the Imam on the day of Ashura, he reads the letter. It says in the letter, "Oh my father, what is the news? What is the news of my uncle Abbas? What is the news of my uncle Qasim? What is the news of Ali al-Asghar?" He looks around and all of the bodies are mutilated on the ground, on the floor. There is no Abbas, there is no Qasim, and Ali al-Asghar is buried under the ground. He cries, "Oh Zainab, oh Kulthum, oh Sakina, come and read the letter of Fatima." On this night we remember also the caravan of the Ahl al-Bayt that returned to Medina. When they left Medina, when they left the holy city of Medina with Imam al-Hussein, they were dignified. They had Imam, they had Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. On that day when they returned, the Shibr comes and he recites to people, "Oh people, there is a musibat. There is a great tragedy. Let me tell you what this tragedy is." They gather around the grave of the Holy Prophet of Islam. He says, "Qutil al-Hussein. Hussein has been killed. The declaration has been made." At that moment, there is an old lady who is carrying a young child. She doesn't hear this declaration, but she sees people crying and weeping. She comes close to this man. He says to him, "Oh man, tell me the news of Aba Abdullah, my son Aba Abdullah al-Hussein." He asks, "Who are you?" She says, "I am al-Baneen. I am al-Baneen." He says to her, "عظم الله لك الأجر بمصابك بولدك Abdullah." He doesn't have the courage to tell her about the news of the martyrdom of Abu al-Fadl. He says to her, "May Allah give you patience over the martyrdom of your son Abu Abdullah." "Oh Abdullah," she says to him, "Oh Shibr, I did not ask you about my son. Tell me about my son Imam al-Hussein." He says, "عظم الله لك الأجر في مصابك بابنك عثمان." May Allah give you patience over the tragedy of losing your son Uthman. "I didn't ask you for Uthman. What about Hussein? What is the news of Hussein?" May Allah have patience, give you patience over the loss of your son Ja'far. At that moment she said, "You have indeed torn my heart. What is the news of Hussein?" He says, "May Allah give you patience over the loss of your son Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas." At that moment al-Baneen drops the young son, who was the son of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, on the ground, and sees as the arteries and the veins of my heart have been shattered. What is the news of Hussein? عظم الله لك الأجر بمصابك بأبي عبد الله الحسين. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. نأتم الإمام حسين. يا حسين.